Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. On our calendar today, it says UFOs. Yes, it is that time of the year, the very first month, when we, the royal we, should figure out what unfinished objects, UFOs, we have and what we're going to do about them. So you have a lot of options, don't you? You could just do nothing. You could have them and they could just live on and take up space in your home and just not get worked on, and that could be fine. I generally like to have a list because I'm a list person. List people, all raise your hands. You know yourself. Okay, so I like to do a list in January. Usually I like to do it between Christmas and New Year's Day, but that wasn't happening this year. So we're doing it here in January, and I will be taking the month to do it. By the end of the month, I hope to have made that list. What happened is I did a list at the beginning of 2021, and it's massive, massive. And then I lost the document, but I had a printout. So I have a printout of it, and we did one of those Google scans so that I now have it in digital. I have a document again. It's not quite formatted like this, but it has everything. So I'm going to use this to go through and see what's no longer on here, which I know some of the things are no longer on here because I finished them. You know, some things are still on here and they're quite old. So I start a list. Now I do have some other tools that might help you for tracking. I have on my calendar page, I put them all on the calendar page. In the first part of the table, here is a picture of that. There's different forms. You've seen me use this one, which is actually the second page of that form. I'm trying to get it here. I have it as a 2-page form. The first is just if you want to put more information, or this one, which is shorter information. And there's still stuff on here that, like pillow shams, you know, I have yet to make those. They're actually not started, so I don't consider them a UFO anymore. Maybe I just won't need pillow shams. But I did do the mermaid binding, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm probably gonna, I printed another one so that I can list like the six things that top things that I'll work on. I like to write them. I also do them digital, but I also like to handwrite them because it just makes a different part of my brain connect to it when I write it down by hand. Now, if you like to keep track of things even deeper, there's 2 other project sheets. Let me show you. There's 2 other styles of project sheets. This one is from Moda it was a tracker sheet that they did a while back, so I have a link to that so that you could do this. This has got all kinds of information. So if you like to track lots of information, this is your form. And then I did one just for planning, a planning guide. And this is not just quilts. This is like life. You know, like what kind of things are you going to be doing? And what are sort of your goals for that? And it's one sheet. You don't have to put a lot of information on it. 1 or 2 things per category. Kind of keeps you going, kind of keeps you motivated. So that's also out on my website. Now, for those of you who really like to track a little bit deeper and keep it all together, already printed up, these journals are fabulous so that you can put a lot of info. There's one for quilting and there's one for cross stitch. This is from the Fat Quarter Shop. So these are fantastic. And they're, as of this video today, they were on sale. So there you go. Helps you out. So how am I going to approach my UFOs? I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm just going to go through, like in the studio here, in this part, go through and find the ones that are in the bins over in the cupboard and document them. And then I know that there's some down in the bottom shelf under there, which is my Splendid Sampler. I know they're the Splendid Sampler things, document them, see if there's anything hiding over here. You have an unfinished object was something I already started, not something I want to do, that's the fabrics gathered. Not that. I've actually have to have started it. So I have some Hexi projects over there in that cabinet. So list those ones first. And then I will go, I'm going to give you this clip here and look at the laundry basket of, here, I'll show you.
As far as UFOs go, this laundry basket now has only tops. I have no idea how many tops are in there. You recently saw this one, which is the postage stamp. So there's a lot of tops. So I'm going to need to go through these as a UFO process and figure out what I'm keeping and what I'm not. You remember I have a list of places over on my website that will take tops for charity.
Going through those tops and documenting them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, when I get to the tops and I do those, I will see which ones I'm going to keep, because a lot of those I'm going to give to charity. I'm not going to finish them, but some of them I am going to finish. One is really special, and I know several of them are. They're just eventually will get quilted. So I need to document all those, and a lot of those are on this original list that I did the beginning of last year. But there's a couple other places that I think I have projects in progress that are in the dining room storage area. So that is another place to look. So for you, you need to look around, because I know some of you keep these things in project in totes. They might be in a container under the bed in the other room. So if you want to really know what you have, you need to get it out from all the different hiding places. Maybe you have one in a basket next to your sofa. Maybe you have something in the car for when you're traveling. Don't forget all of those. Get them all and list them. If you're a list maker, if you have the guts to list them all. That's like, it's hard. It's hard. When you list them, you're like thinking, oh my goodness, but they're fun. We had fun making them, and sometimes you make something for a little bit, and then you're like, I'm done. I'm done. I don't need to make any more of that. I got it out of my system. I enjoyed making 5 or 6 of the blocks of a king-size quilt, and now I have 5 or 6 blocks, and I don't want to make the king-size quilt anymore. You don't have to make the king-size quilt. If you just want to take your 6 blocks and put them into a table runner or a table topper, put them into, find another block that you've got and combine it. You don't have to finish a project. There's no law that says you have to. I don't finish some projects. I just would like, okay, that was that. I have, last year I did a fall wreath. Like we did the Holly Jolly wreath. I did one fall wreath, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to make any more of those. That was a fun thought, but one I did, and I've just moved on. I've moved on, and I'm not going to go back to that. I don't really have interest in doing that now. So I am not going to complete that, and I'm fine. And I'll take the one block and I put it with all my orphan blocks up here, which, by the way, these orphan blocks, these extras and samples and things I didn't, ended up not using, or like half square triangles, that were from cutoffs of things. All of this needs to be documented too. Yes, it does. Oh my goodness. Okay. So what are the other things I have to clean up from, 2021? I needed to get my gallery for 2021 updated, and I did it. I can't believe I did it, because yesterday it was like, I was just motivated. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to sit down. It was like 4 in the afternoon. I'm going to get it done, and I was done by like 6. Here's a screenshot of where the front part of that gallery, I put it for 2022, what I finished, and 2021. I did 71 projects. What I do is I list the book ones when the book comes out. So you got to see the holiday celebration ones are listed on there. 71. So that's a lot of projects in 1 year. And they're not all big. Obviously I'm not doing 71 king-size quilts. Some were tops, they didn't get quilted. I'm counting all those as a finish. If it gets to the top stage, the flimsy stage, it's a finish in my mind. Okay, so I did another little clean out video, and this is the one where I'm like, I don't know. I had to sort of scrunch it up because it was kind of long. You could take a look at me going through the pantry, my pantry, which has half of it is quilt storage stuff. But it's a bunch of little things. So here's how I look through that. So I was getting very fed up with my pantry, which is basically a very small, just a closet. It's not much wider than a door, and it has shelves the same builder shells that came what, 35 years ago here. Here's a quick picture of the top part, and it has like quilt supplies and then like a shelf and a half of food stuff. And I live very near the grocery store, so I don't really store a lot of stuff. I just go get it, and so I need to go through it, so I'm emptying it all out. But what I have is a project bag. This is my project bag that I took on all of our travel. Now, I have not opened this project bag since probably September of 2019. So let's take a look. This was next to it, so that needs to go someplace. Here's a cute project bag my friend Lena made me. Isn't that sweet? So you pull like this, like opposite. There you go. And it makes this cute little bag. You put your stuff in. Okay, got that. I have, well, it looks like I've got it fairly tidy. Oh my God, this weighs a ton. What the heck is in there? And then plastic bags. So these containers within containers, usually I would have in here projects. And this would be, I found this on Amazon quite a few years ago. Okay, so what is in here? This is the Halloween, some of the stuff for the Halloween that I'm hand blanket stitching. I really should get that back out. It is a Verna pattern, Vintage Spool, I think is her company name. And so there's Aurifil thread in here. There's a bunch of thread in different colors. This was a gift, so I need to get that out. I have a needle threader in the ugly brown color. It comes in prettier colors, and then just scissors and more stuff. So this needs to be gone through because, I can put all that stuff kind of where it is and not in there. All right, I have no idea. This thing is so heavy. Why is this so heavy? Okay, this was a project. All right. Never stop creating. So this was a project that I gathered some stuff to do English paper piecing. I guess that was what was so heavy, that big pile of fabric. And in here, so here is the one, Pollinate by my friend Kitty, which is so darn cute. And some of the initial papers, the regular English paper piecing, and a few pieces that I got out to kind of start it off, but hadn't decided if this is where I was going. So I'm not, how many of those did I make? I've got fabric cut for more, so I just made 3, which they go something like this. So I was trying, here we go. I was auditioning a couple of them to see how I wanted to do. So there we go. That is, and then you can see the center there. So that is how these would go. And I have, some other, I don't have another piece of that red, so hopefully it's in that stack here. Or that was what stalled me, is I didn't have any more of that fabric. Oh no, here it is. Got it. So I got another piece of that fabric to do this. I'm not sure now, this was so long ago. I don't know what part I was starting with. Maybe one of these. Maybe one of these guys. I don't know. But I really like to pull that out. I have a lot of these kind of handwork. Not a lot. I have probably, let's take a wild guess, maybe 4 or 5. So now I'm going through these hat boxes, which had some stuff like this, and well, over here had some extra scissors that I like, and an Olfa container, some snaps and things that I'm sure I used in high school, which was a really long time ago. Here's the second hat box, which is all English paper piecing stuff. So I think that can be consolidated down. It could probably even go in the smaller one. So here's the larger one. I have a whole set of hoops, which I don't really use hoops much. This silver one is my original one, so I have to keep that. But the rest of them, I think I'm going to let go to a new home. And a bedazzler set. Some more parts of it. I'm probably not going to use that with the things that will be glued down to dazzle. Some bag, purse handles.
Turning tools. I will keep the turning tools. A bunch of super cute clips, some transparency paper, and some, oh, no, I forgot I had these felt balls, so I got for some. Just to show you, up here is all of the different heat and bond, plus I had some sheets of template plastic that went in the bottom and some other fiber papers, they also went in the bottom. So that's all set, and there's some room if I find some others similar type paper or interfacing things, I can put them all in here. Underneath the other, there's another tub right underneath it, and that's actually greeting cards and things like that. That's what's in there, so I can find those. They have to live somewhere in the house. And then on the hat boxes, I emptied the top one and the middle one. There they are. Those two sizes are now empty, and the big one is filled up with everything that I showed you that I was keeping. So pretty much I had plenty of room in all of these, so now I consolidated it down. There's actually some room in here, so if I find something else that is similar, I can put it inside. And that gives me these two that I can empty some of the gray baskets I have that have a lot of supplies, and my small red tower of drawers that also has a lot of supplies in it. Both of those are full, like they're totally full, so they also need to be looked at, resourced. So it was really good to get that done. Now I can put my actual pantry items in there, and I have things that I wasn't using that will go off to some people who can use it rather than me storing it. So that all worked out pretty good. It was just a little bit more more work than I thought. Okay, so for UFO Day and sort of clean up, I hope that you take my challenge and list all of yours. And there are all kinds of tracking sheets and tracking methods. This one you have to buy, but these are all free papers. If you want to just download them, you can do that. Don't forget to go over to my website where you did the download for the Sweet Dreams, and go to the very, very, very end where there is a place to leave a comment for my goodie bag. If you are having trouble seeing that and you're on a phone, change devices. Phones often have trouble with comment areas at websites. I don't know why, it just does. Also, you could change browsers. That works for some people, but I want to be sure you remember to do it. Okay, my friend. Unfinished objects. We always have them. There are the rare few of you who make one quilt and never start another and always finish that one. And you're a unicorn. Not too many people do that. Okay, my friend, I love you. Mwah. See you online.